Views from the friend zone, it's your time. We giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping them jewels so that all our people can shine. Views from the friend zone, it's your time. We giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping them jewels so that all our people can shine.
Yeah. Welcome to another edition of Views from the Friend Zone podcast. It's your boy Real Talk Marv.
It's your boy Cliff Rock Bernard.
Yes. It's been a long time coming. We've been off for a couple of months. Life has happened. Blessings has happened. You know what I'm saying? A lot of life changes, you know. How's everybody doing out there? How you doing, Cliff?
I'm good. I'm just taking it one day at a time.
Yes, man.
Thankful.
I wanna, if you feel like it, I wanna give you the floor. You're wearing a nice T-shirt. Back up so people can see the full. What your T-shirt says?
It says bless. What did it say?
3/9/22.
3/9/22.
Yeah. So if you could give them a little background, if you would like, what does that date represent?
3/9/22 represents second chances. Just being thankful for God giving me an opportunity. I was able to transplant and get a new heart on that day, which was a couple months, like five months now. 5 months now, which is a blessing.
Blessings, man. That's a beautiful day. That's like a holiday for me.
Yeah, I was waiting 7 long years, and then God has finally granted me the opportunity to have a second chance in life. I'm just blessed and thankful, to have good people around me and just moving forward. That's it.
That's what's up. What's up. Yeah, man. So, a lot of big things have happened since our last show. You know what I'm saying? I have moved, new job. Like, life's been beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You see me wearing my Haitian flag. This week was Carabana and
Toronto.
In Toronto, you know what I mean? A Caribbean celebration. I'm representing my Haitian heritage.
You haven't been in a minute.
Sac passe to all of my Haitians, my Zoes out there, you know what I'm saying? It's just a blessing, man. It's summertime. We're coming towards the end of summer. Now people and their kids are starting to look to go back to school. There's a lot going on in this world. It's craziness, man. We got a lot to talk about. Open Shirt Poppy will be in the building. He had prior arrangements that he had to work through, but he'll pull up a little later on in the show. We're gonna start the show, and then he'll catch back up. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about a whole bunch of different things. One thing I want to talk about is this monkeypox. This is not a topic of the show, but just like, monkeypox is some scary shit, yo.
Yeah, it's no joke.
It's no joke. I mean, right now the numbers are low, but it's here. You know what I'm saying? Anything we've learned with COVID and the coronavirus and stuff like that is like, you can't sleep on it, you know what I'm saying?
Because it could grow fast, for real.
Like, at least COVID, you catch COVID, you hear the people cough, you look at them, look crazy, back up. But that monkeypox is a whole nother story. You look like you got some kind of herpes, syphilis, bumps kind of craziness, you know what I mean? And
just talking about it makes you feel kind of
itchy,
weird.
right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're going to do about this monkeypox. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you can't wear a condom and not catch monkeypox. You know what I'm saying? At least, with AIDS and STDs, you have the threat, or not threat, but, you have the protection of using a condom and feeling like cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if wearing a mask over your face protects you from monkeypox.
No, not at all. We don't know yet.
We don't know enough about it, and at the same time, I feel like they're not giving us no information. All they're doing is scaring us about it, like, yo, monkeypox is out there. Okay, so what you want me to do about it? Like, what can I do to
Protect
avoid
myself,
getting monkeypox? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like they want us to just all hang out in the basement and just like, go to work and come back home. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So August is also special for me. It's my birth month. I will officially become an official old man next week, August 10th. I turn 40. That's my big 40th birthday. You know what I'm saying? I'm for 40th. I thought about having a party, and then I just, got into my new home. I had too much going on, so I just decided to go on a trip to Caribbean, Turk and Caicos, so I'm looking forward to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Nothing got to talk about is just like, how society is just still treating us crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole Brittany Griner situation.
Yeah, that
you know what I'm
is.
saying? Like Brittany Griner, for those who don't know, was arrested back in February because she tried to enter into Russia with hashish oil. So basically, she was vaping cannabis oil. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm gonna keep it a buck, they said she was prescribed the cannabis oil for anxiety. You know, and I'm not gonna downplay that because anxiety is real,
Yeah.
and we've learned a lot of treatments to conditions or diseases that we have. Cannabis is a natural way of treating
Of healing.
depression, anxiety, different things of that nature. But she could have been using it just for recreation.
Yeah, but
let's keep
it's
it a
not
buck.
hurting nobody, and
It's not hurting
And
nobody.
weed is legal now, so it's like
But Russia strategically caught her up because of the political play, right? Because 2 years ago, a white woman from Brooklyn, she got arrested bringing in 17 grams of marijuana into the country. And they let
Okay.
her go after holding her for 2 months and gave her a fine of $2,500.
okay.
And only do two differences. It's a couple differences. A lot of people are saying, "Oh man, cause she black, we getting it worse." Don't get it twisted. This world don't care about black people like that, so that could play a factor into it. But it's also America gave money to Ukraine to help against the war against Russia.
Yeah,
So now Russia's like, "Yo, you want to work with our ops?
yeah, we got
Now we
something
gonna
for
play
it,
those
yeah.
games." And then Russia's also trying to get a weapons specialist that we locked up.
Yeah, like a body for body, basically.
But it's not the same thing.
It's not the same
like,
magnitude.
It's
or
like
nothing.
saying the guy who sell nickel bag of weeds on the corner, you trading him for Pablo Escobar in an exchange. That's not the same thing.
But they realize the value of who she is, and she's a celebrity. Even she plays in WNBA, and a lot of people know him. So
And if you want to go one level deeper, maybe conspiracy, maybe not, she's out of the closet lesbian. You know, the LGBTQ, you know, although in this country we give that community a lot of power, a lot of representation, their voice is strong. They don't carry that same weight overseas and in other countries. Right? Being gay in some smaller minded countries is a crime.
yeah, because it's
And
different.
Unfortunately, even though she's a black African American person, in Africa, she could get arrested for being gay. They could try to take her and like circumcise her clitoris. Like, as crazy as that sounds, they do those kind of
They got
things.
certain traditions they just don't believe in.
Yeah, so that's a lot going on, man. What's going on with you, man? How's everything on your world?
Like I said, just thankful. You know, got a new situation going on. It's still a day-to-day process, but you know, you never realize how much you appreciate life until you go through
some questions, you go through some turmoil. You know what I mean?
through some
Obviously,
crazy
you want to keep
turmoil.
some of your stuff personal, but being your brother, watching you go through that battle.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
But the support was there. You, all the whole family, my brothers and sisters, my other brothers and sisters, my wife, my daughter, even my daughter. You know what I mean? Just keeping me upbeat and just keeping me in good spirits. And then my work family, like I work with some good people, so, and then that's very important,
That's
whatever
dope.
too. So it's therapeutic, just to have good people around. Like you don't realize how important it is to be around good people until you go through some stuff, But I'm just thankful,
To
and
be
just trying
honest
to
with you,
move forward.
just being your brother and knowing the people you work with, and just knowing sometimes just the people in the DOC Department of Correction, like those are tight-knit family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they hold each other down. Y'all party together. Y'all live good life. Y'all support each other. Y'all hold each other down. So shout out to the people who work in your program, the DOC. Like that whole family of people, that network of people is like really strong, solid people. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely solid.
Some of the best city workers that we have.
Definitely solid.
So let's get into the show. Obviously, I want to take a second to like reintroduce ourselves because we haven't been on we haven't done a show in so long.
Yeah.
So
How long has it been?
it's been 7 months, and in
Wow.
this fast-paced environment, you can lose your whole audience in
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
maybe at this point in time, during the time off, I've been watching podcasts, because when you have an interest in stuff, you also want to see how other people are doing it, and it seems like the podcast game is hot. Everybody has a podcast,
Yeah, everybody.
whether they boring or not. You know what I'm saying? But
Celebrities,
there's people
non-celebrities.
who started their podcast after me, as far as celebrities that I now look up to their podcast and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like the Matt Hoffa podcast is one of my favorite podcasts out.
Yeah, it's very authentic. It's good. That's the barbershop. What is it called?
I can't think of the name.
Opportunity. Something. It's good.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
no
good
disrespect to Matt Hoffa, but
Yeah.
his podcast fire.
Yeah, it's good.
The way he approached people, he's down to earth,
Yeah.
and him being of the battle rap culture,
Yeah.
the entertainment culture, he get big guests.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
People know who he is.
People know who he is,
Yeah.
and
It's-
and he gets what I respect about what Matt Hoffa is doing with his podcast, and then on a much I don't want to say lower scale, but on a much more everyday person scale, is he gets people to talk about things not just necessarily I'm promoting, I got an album coming out or stuff like that, but like real behind the scenes, pull the curtain back, right? Like the reason why I do the podcasting and continue to do the podcasting is to have conversations that we shouldn't keep in our head.
Yeah.
So my podcast, if you listen to our podcast, I would say it's like live action therapy. You know what I'm saying? Talking about things you're thinking about, whether you're a married individual, single. We always talk about relationships and dating because we always feel like it's a war. Dating is a war going on.
And it's important. It's important because dating is this not just about two people together. It teaches you structure of life, like
team building,
and just knowing that somebody has your back, like what I've been through, whatever too. And it's not easy for somebody who's a support system like my wife to just sit there, just. She's going through the motions, going through the war too. When somebody you're dating is getting in a situation, it could be sick or whatever. So it's like you said, team building, supporting each other, and knowing the real value of somebody.
Your marriage and what you've gone through and stuff like that teaches you how like the vows of getting married, right?
Yeah.
Like through better or worse, through sickness and health, to death do us part. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys have gone through real life challenges. Me in my relationship, I've gone through medical challenges on my own. My wife has medical challenges, and you realize like, yo, this marriage thing is real. If you honor it that way, it's real. But at the same time, it's not
work.
easy.
It's work.
It's not cookie cutter.
No, it's work.
You know what I'm saying? And
it's work.
even when Open Shirt Poppy come, he can speak from his perspective. But it's good for you to see representation of African American males who are married, who are professionals, and don't mind discussing their emotions. Right? Society makes us look like we weak or we punks if we cry or we show too much emotion, and like we're trying to break the generational curses of when men is like, oh, men don't talk about their problems, puff up your chest, men don't tell nobody that they're going through stuff, men just deal with it. No, men won't grow in that way. You won't grow through shit if you can't lean over to your brother. This is my literal brother, but figuratively, if you can't lean over to your brother and be like, yo man, I'm struggling, like, yo dog, like, how you dealing with this, right? Because society isn't your friend. When you walk out that door, it's so many things going against you, especially as African American men. So we need to be able to have that outlet.
Like I was telling you the other day, it's just it's just so important to check on people. Like even like when I was going through my battles and highs and lows, and still pushing forward, and I'm just thankful that I had a new opportunity. I'm still always checking on people. People didn't even really know I was sick, or I was even waiting for a new heart or whatever, because I never moved like that. Because I know once you get in a mindset of putting yourself down or feeling a certain kind of way, it could get real dark for you. You could put yourself in a dark place, and I never want to be in that place. And my job is, I'm a father at the end of the day. I want to raise my daughter, and I got to stay in good spirits. If she see her father down all the time, it could have a big effect on her. But she knows I'm always upbeat and I'm ready to do activities with her and this and that. It's just a blessing. Like I said, like the little things I cared about before, I really don't.
Yeah.
I just care about the support system I have, my family, and just being around, like I said, being around good people. But, like I said, check on people, because there's a lot of people in dark places. They don't want to express themselves to people, like you said, like especially men, because they feel like, oh, now I'm supposed to be able to handle it. No, you can't handle it if you don't talk to somebody about it. Seriously.
Yeah, like problems don't make you weak.
No.
Trying to suffer in silence makes you weak. Not weak, but that is a weakness. You know what I'm saying? It takes strength to lean, reach out to someone like, yo, I'm struggling with this. How can I get help? Maybe you could get professional help. Maybe you could get help within your community, but there's no weakness in getting help.
But you know what? It is crazy. We find ourselves doing it all the time. Even with you, if you're not gonna tell your brothers and sisters that you're struggling or whatever, so you never do. That's just not your personality.
No, but
you try to listen. You try to deal with it first, and then say, "Yo, this is the situation." But that's not just a knock on you. That's just how people deal with stuff. They're like, "Listen, let me try to take care of it." Some people would tell you straight up, "Listen, man, this is what I need. This is how I'm trying to get it done." Which could be a good thing and which could be a bad thing. But at least they're talking to somebody. Just checking people on a day-to-day basis.
But I hear what you say. It's perspective. Like, to me, it's like this. I'm not like, okay, because my financial situation at the time may not be where I want it to be. But if all my bills are paid, even if I have to, like, yo, I'm going to eat hot dogs and Hot Pockets for, till my next check. To me, that's not a problem. To me, that's first world problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, my problem is this, like, okay, I'm about to get kicked out and they confiscated my car. Now I need help. You know what I'm saying? And God has blessed me. I've never been in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So I know sometimes... So my perspective of help is this, when it's just like you're such stuck in a corner and you can't possibly mentally think of how you could get out of that corner, and then you just suffer in silence.
But you know how much people suffer and they have everything, because people don't check on them for the genuine person who they are. Like, just to say, what's going on with you. There's a lot of people who have everything and they're suffering inside because they're like, first of all, they don't even know who's being real with them. Mm-hmm. Who really care? Like, that's a lot when you really don't know who's really there for you. Yeah, that's a form of that could put you in depression real fast.
Yeah, because you could feel abandoned. You could feel like, especially when you know that you look out for people.
Yes.
And no one comes. I was talking to a friend the other day, and then I told the friend was just like, yo, you're more of like, there's not a lot, and I'm not saying this because it's going to sound arrogant, but it's not. But the friend was just like, yo, Marv, there's not a lot of people like you out there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, yo, everybody I know just wants to talk about their problems, but they never ask about my problems. They never, and then the friend was just like, you always ask me, like, what's going on? How's everything going? And you always try to give me a word on how to get out of my problems, but there's not a lot of people out there like you. And then I was like, thank you. I was just like, you know what? People love for people to pour into them. Yeah. But they never pour into people.
Many of my friends just call me for advice and whatever, so they don't even really ask me like, oh, what's going on? Yeah. But it's not a bad thing. I think, that's a family trait of ours from just experience alone. Like, like we literally talk to each other every day. It's four of us. We literally talk to each other every day, whether it's about dealing with our house in Queens, up in my parents' house in Queens, how to take care of just little bit stuff like, oh, this is what's going on with us. You just closed on your house, or how to go about, oh, you could lose my landscape, or you could have the landscape. Like, this little stuff, whether we're talking about serious stuff or whatever, we always have a day-to-day operation. A lot of people don't have that connection we have.
But another thing that's also out there is just like, we're literally not jealous of each other.
For what?
But I know that sounds simple, but that's not the case for a lot of families. Because it's funny between, like, there's the babies, me and you, and then our older siblings. And, like, there's a huge disparity in income between the babies versus the older people. But we never think, like, oh, man, this person has that. I don't have that. And you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people who's like jealous of their blood brother, their blood sister.
When you win, it's a win for all of us, right? So that's how it is. It's not,
When you saying that, it made me think. I finally watched Rise, the Antetokounmpo story.
Yeah,
I watched it yesterday.
I didn't watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
I'm off tomorrow.
Okay,
so I'm gonna watch it. I'll probably watch it tonight or probably tomorrow because I'm a little tired.
It's a little cheesy because it's Disney.
You know, I like
but the
those movies.
Story is strong.
Like when you win, we all win, right?
Yeah.
Like. A lot of us, we have different traits. I'm the type of person, I won't tell you what's going on with me because I'm like, I'm going to handle it regardless. It could be the worst of the worst. I'm like, it is what it is. I'm rolling with the punches. You know, we all handle pressure differently because it's 4 of us. But when you win, we like, all right, everything good now. More of it straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We good. You know what I'm saying? So
likewise,
it's a matter of team building. A lot of family don't have team building experience. Like we gonna live 5 minutes away from each other. Yeah. It's not too crazy for the wives of ours, but we 5 minutes away from each other. Like that's a blessing to be able to buy houses 5 minutes away from each other and then see each other every day.
Yeah.
And we do stuff with family activities. It's just like I said, regardless of what dynamics is, just check on your loved ones. Your mom was telling you that the other day. I said, yo, bro, you got to check on your peoples, man.
Yeah.
You know, you lost some friends where, not saying that, okay, you wasn't talking to them day to day, but you didn't know that stuff was gonna come up, you know. And that's
another thing during the time that we was off. Like, you know, I had a crazy weekend where I lost 2 friends that one friend I've known since I was 7, another friend I've known since I was 16, and I lost them in the span. Both of them in the span of less than 12 hours. I found out one was tragically killed through gun violence. Another one had a heart attack and passed. And it was just like, it was so crazy. The 2 weeks later, I had 3 funerals going on at the same time. So I'm literally double dipping, like going to one person's wake, showing my respects and dipping out to catch another person's wake, having burials at the same time. God bless it. It's not fortunate for me, but I wouldn't say a blessing for them. Like the burials was like 10 minutes apart, so I was able to watch one person get buried and say, okay, I gotta run and watch another person get buried. And like, yo, you take all of this on. I had a new job at the same time. I'm thinking to myself like, yo, I'm less than 2 weeks into my job. How do I tell my boss like, yo, I need time off to go to 2 funerals? You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
And you know, he doesn't a new job. He don't have to. He's gonna be like, that's your personal. That's your
I'm not even off of
trend.
probation.
Yeah,
I'm not even 90 days in.
That shit. You know that. You know, there's no disrespect, but that's your obligation. You know, some jobs are like that, but. You know, like I said, man, the pandemic and everything else, man. Like I be just thinking about it. You know, I like blessed, man. Or like to have a good family and good support system. That's so important, man. I wouldn't trade my family and the friends I value for nothing, man. Like, you know, so I always try to be good to people. There's not one person that could be like, oh, this guy, he's always been one. I try to be good to people. I try to find the good in people. Even when they do funny stuff, and I just leave it alone. But you know, check on your loved ones. We going through some rough times, man. People are dying left and right because their health is not right. Yeah. They're depressed. Suicidal rates is going skyrocketing right now. Yeah, through the roof right now because it's the littlest things. Like how, as the head of the household, you tell your family like you ain't got no money and left whatever too, and you was a millionaire all this time. Like that happens to people. Yeah, people be millionaires, and then all of a sudden they ran through everything they had, and then they don't have to
taxes, not knowing how to take care of their taxes.
They don't know how to tell their family.
Trusting the wrong people with your money. Yeah, because by the time you find out, they be like, oh, and then they get low on you, kind of things in that nature. It's just crazy. We'll get into the show. Obviously, we always talk about dating, and then we also talk about like what's going on in the political climate as well. We try to be well-rounded. We'll start off with this dating. The first topic that we're talking about is called temporary dating. But I was talking to a couple of good women friends that I have, and they both told me on separate conversations like, yo, when you have your next show, I want you to talk about this. I wish Open Sherman Poppy was here, but maybe, if the conversation is still going on, when he comes, he could opine. But the first thing was, now I had this friend, very good-looking friend. She's like the female Benjamin Button. Like, she's getting older, but she's looking younger. She looks good. She takes care of herself. And she's like, when we was younger and like in college, she was a tomboy. Pretty girl, but tomboy. But now as an older woman, she's a mom now. Looks good. She's in the gym. Body's crazy. No disrespect, Nancy, but I'm just, this is part of the conversation. And like very, very, very sexy now because she's in the gym. Her body's like Instagram type body, but natural. Anyway, so she has a new boyfriend, and like the boyfriend was loving seeing her in these looks. The Instagram, her western bodies, her Versace dresses with holes in it and stuff like that. And now that they're together, he's just like, yo, I need you to tone that down and stuff like that. And she's like, one, I'm a grown-ass woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm 40 plus years old. I look good. I carry myself with respect. But I'm going to keep looking good because I'm busting my ass to look this way. And this is how he met her. And now they're a year in, and he's just like, yo, I need you to don't post that picture. And she's just like, I need you to talk about that, on your show. Like,
yeah,
why
is
that?
That's because what happens is this, right? It's a transitional period, right? The first 3 to 6 months, it's still trial and error. First 3 to 6 months, still trial and error when the relationship is activated. So the fact that she's wearing those kind of outfits for that, you're like, yo, she ain't even my girl yet. Even if y'all committed, whatever, you like, we still we're not really rocking out. Once a year goes in, he might have introduced her to his family, his mom, his dad. He might have a respectable career where now it's so crazy when you work at a job, they'll look at your spouse's Instagram or whatever. Like, your bosses ain't gonna tell you that. All they need is your last name, whatever. They could look through your if it's not private settings. So all this plays a factor, right? So not to say he doesn't want to look sexy no more. And then she should also respect the fact that she's in a relationship. I get it. You still want to look sexy, whatever, too. But
to me, this is the thing. It's not crazy where it's just like, what? Because she's a woman, who looks good. She's in her 40s. She's not wearing the stuff where it's just like these Instagram, like crazy looking things where it's just like, yo, your nipples are showing. I can see your crotch. It's respectable but very sexy outerwear.
But listen, in relationships, it's about respecting the other person too. If he's like, what, I did like when I courted you to feel sexy, whatever. So just tone it down a little bit, whatever. If you feel like it's worthy and you respect him to that point, then you do it. Like, even when I was first dating my wife, I told her, listen, straight up, I got some set of rules. That's just my rules. It's all up to you. You know how it is, right? And it's not about saying that I'm her boss, she's my boss. Sometimes you gotta coach your partner to tell them what's right, what's going on, because they just living their best lives sometimes. Granted, when you're in a relationship, listen, you be together now, you're gonna be around my mom, you're gonna be around. You can't be wearing some of them slit outfits or whatever. Too. It's a time and a place to wear everything. If you're on vacation, right? If you're on vacation, you want to look sexy, whatever. Boom, boom. But if you're just going to certain settings and you're wearing this stuff, and even though I met you that way, you got to know how to turn it on and off. Listen, what you're saying is 100% right. Yeah. She should be able. You're a grown woman. She probably has her own money, everything.
Yeah.
Be able to, but respectfully tone it down a little bit. Just because you got new.
It's tough, right? Because I'm not in that situation. I've been married for a long time. My wife always, she has her sexy outfits and stuff like that. But she's from day one she's been like conservative, sexy kind of thing, where it's just like, you know what, she dresses more on the attraction of this, the total looking good, and not necessarily like, you know, pumping the titties up or trying to make you see the thighs kind of stuff. But to me, it's just like, if that's how you met the person, and it's still like, it's not, I don't know, I to me it's just like, I guess you have to experience it kind of thing. Like, it's not like, you know, you meet a stripper, you know they're a stripper, then you just like, yo, I want to help you transition away from being a stripper, so you got to tone it down. But just like regular sexy dresses that you go out with her and stuff like that.
But sometimes, listen, when I met you in the sexy dress, it was cool, whatever. You know, it let me say, okay, yeah, I want to. But sometimes them sexy dresses could put somebody like me or you or whatever in trouble. Now listen, that's what I'm saying. So all this play a factor, right?
Yeah.
I've been in this spot where, you know, time before, whatever, too, my wife will wear a certain dress, whatever. She got a big butt, whatever. Yeah. She wears this stuff. So, and the guy try to grab her hand, and I got to play security. You know, I don't want to do that on the one day I'm going out and stuff, whatever. So that's another reason why I'm not saying you can't feel sexy and dress sexy, whatever. So it's a time and a place. But if the person asks you respectfully, like you tone it down a little bit, whatever, too. And if that's not something you want to do, then that's a conversation you got to have long term to see where it's going to go moving forward. Yeah. But he should have expressed that even when he felt like it was getting serious. Yeah. You can't wait to like, oh, you can't buy the new titties and then now expect her for not to show it too. Yeah. So that's what you got to understand.
Cliff has brought up some good parts. Like, I totally understand, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's a danger element to it. Sometimes
it's a
right
time.
place, right time kind of situation. So when you see this or you listen to this segment, I want y'all to comment. I want y'all to like give your feedback. Like, is it cool to expect your partner to change the representation that they have because they're now your significant other, even though you met them that way? Like, I totally get it with the growth and the transition kind of thing. But to me, I feel like, yo, if you respected it and you liked it and you thought, like, it's one thing if you just popping somebody, right? Like, if you just smashing, you have no kind of...
Yeah, you don't really
You have
care.
no contribution to what they do. You just smashing. But once you decide to make that person yours, you kind of have to accept what they brought to the table.
And then also... you gotta respect the fact that he's even coming to you to say, you know what, can you tone it down? That means he's trying to build with you, right? And in terms of, he's not trying to be controlled. Like I said, it's not saying that he can't say, oh no, I don't want you dressing sexy at all, whatever. Too. That's just crazy. Like, but act like you in a relationship now. When I met you, we wasn't in a relationship. Now you in a relationship. There's certain things in a relationship.
So, ladies, is there single clothes versus relationship clothes?
Hell yeah, it is. Well, this big brother, think about it is, I went out last night, right? We'll be back outside, by the way, anyway. For real, right? I still got to check in as a married man. I got to give it a place where I'm at. I got to tell her my phone numbers and this and that. And it's like, well, you know, that's part of relationship duties. Vice versa, she always does that with me. Oh, I'm with my girls. This is where I'm going to be, whatever, too. But there's some days I bet she want to go. I'm like, what the hell I got to tell? You know what I mean? It's for safety reasons, though, you do that in relationships, right? And there's some men that I'm like, man, I hate this checking and stuff. I've talked to married men and feel like, yo, like, damn, I got to check in. It's just a different kind of vibe. So when I tell you tone it down, whatever, too, and you're in a relationship, that's a whole nother ball game. When you wasn't in a relationship, all that little sexy J-Lo dress was cool with me. Now I'm like, listen, you could still have the J-Lo dresses here or there, but, you know, let's tone it, act like you're in a relationship. I don't like the fact that women be like, oh, you met me like this, whatever, too, boom. Yeah, I met you like that, but we're in a relationship right now. The rules got to change, baby girl. That's just how it is.
Got it.
Rules and regulations change.
I'm torn because I definitely feel you know, it do become a situation where, like, now that you're my lady, I feel like you represent me as well, and I want you to have a certain decorum. But I also feel like, you know what, you know, a grown woman of sound mind should be able to make the choices that she wants. But if you want to be happy in your relationship, there's always a give and take.
100%.
And and you got to acknowledge that it's a give and take, especially if you're making your spouse feel uncomfortable, right? Because I feel like this, unless the ass of your spouse is like going against your moral code, you have to at least consider it, right?
Yeah.
So another thing, Mike says he's at the door.
Let me get him.
Yeah, if you can. All right. So another thing that I want to discuss, and I'll discuss it more when the guys get back into the room, is what women are looking for in men, especially when you reach a certain age, right? Like, I feel like the demographic of the conversations that we have on this show, I would love for my young 20-year-olds to listen to, guys who are on the cusp of 40 or 40 years old, who are like still tapped into like what's going on, to like give game. I always like to give game to the younger guys, right? Because I don't give game saying that I know everything. I give game to the younger guys saying like, yo, if you could avoid some of the mistakes I've made, here's the cheat code. If you could avoid some of the heartache, having to learn certain lessons, hard head makes a soft ass kind of thing, I would love that, right? Because I'm not the type of person where it feels like, yo, I went through it, you got to go through it. That's to me a crab in the barrel mentality. Like, yo, I'd rather go through it to be an example to make you not go through it. And I was talking to some woman, and they was just like, you know what? So many men feel like, yo, I'm a man because I'm giving you good pipe. Or I'm a man because even though I'm not pouring into you emotionally, I pay the bills and I got money so you could feel a form of sense of security. Even though I'm not pouring into you, or I'm not taking care of your needs emotionally, I'm not thinking about your needs emotionally or what's making you happy, I say to myself, you know what? I pay the mortgage, I pay the rent, I might pay on her car note, I might give her money to go shopping. So because I provide a financial stability, I have now met all the needs that in society has said makes me a man. Because I gave you money, or I gave you an orgasm. So since I'm able to make you come, I'm a man. Or since I'm able to provide for you financially, I'm a man. And then I had a couple ladies say, you know what, that's not it. So what? Open Shirt Poppy has stepped into the building.
What up, y'all? Sorry about tardiness.
No, it's all good. I told him you had prior obligations. So we
Fill 'em
haven't
in.
started the topic. So when we go into the topics, we're gonna move smoothly. We just finished talking about a woman of a certain age that looked good said that, you know what, I look good, I dress sexy, I got my boyfriend now, and then now that, he met me sexy, now he's just like, okay, now that we're in a relationship, I need you to tone it down. You can't be sexy like you were before. And Clifford's saying it's a respect thing, and him being his woman now, things change. Give your opinion before I jump into the next topic, next pre-topic that we're talking about. And then
I don't agree with that. So you're trying to downgrade her sexiness
No,
because she's
it's not
down in a
down.
relationship?
And listen, when you went from dating me to now it's a situation, the rules has changed. That's just how it goes, right? When we're dating, I don't got to tell you where I'm going. I just don't, because I don't own that right. But when we're in a relationship, I got to be like, babe, be a little late. With the fellas here, those are checking in and game points. You got to think about it. The rules and regulations change when you just because I met you sexy with the college dress and the J-Lo dress, whatever. Now I'm telling you, listen, I'm introducing you to my mom, who was a respectful lady, and my family, whatever you call. You can't wear that dress.
Okay, I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The rules and regulations has changed.
When
once
we're
you're in a relationship.
together, you can probably dress a little more provocative.
That's what I'm
than
saying.
when you go out by yourself.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So-
the rules and regulations change. Like when
gotta agree
you're
with that.
when you're in a relationship, you have to check in. Those are some rules. I even as a married man,
Unfortunately.
I went out last night and I gotta give where I'm at, this and that, and what time I'm coming home. Like I feel like I'm my daughter. Like, you know. But I gotta
It's a
respect. I gotta
though.
respect the fact that, you know what, I'm married. She
a
does.
respect
She does it for me. If
I
she,
agree with what he's saying. though.
yeah, like that.
You
That
know what I'm
part.
saying?
Okay.
It's not. I'm thinking of you just saying like, you gotta go straight, none Mother Teresa style.
Yeah.
No,
now.
no,
I
no.
agree with it, but to me, the case, the study case that I use is my homegirl. Like, you know, she was a tomboy when she was younger. Now she's an older woman, looks great, like great body, works out, body's crazy. So she dresses accordingly, and that's how she met her man. And her man was loving it. And then now they 6 months in, almost a year in, and then now he's just like, okay, I need you to like tone that kind of down, kind of thing.
But I mean, she has to think about it like this. The reason she was out there like that.
It's to
was
court.
essentially
To
to
court
get a
him.
man,
Yeah,
to
to court
get a
him.
man, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
She does
caught the
not
fish.
agree with that. She was out there looking like that because she worked damn hard to look that good. And it ain't about y'all, it's about her. That's what she was saying. Men make it about them, but she ain't doing shit about no man. She's doing it because she looks
So
good.
then we had to ask her, what's the point, right? At this point, because you know it's gonna attract. At this point, it should be unwanted attention from men. Because you shouldn't want that attention no more. You got a man. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah, you still can look beautiful in a conservative manner. You don't have to put everything out there in Front Street. And you just got to be respectful of your man. I mean, what if he like to walk around with his shirt out all the
Yeah,
time?
and he
You know
buff
what
or
I'm saying?
whatever, too.
And chicks is on him. And you're going to be like, well, listen, babe, you're in a relationship. How about you put a shirt on now? You know what
Not
I'm
even
saying?
that. Like, listen, when you got certain assets, it's gonna show regardless.
Yes.
It's
That's
gonna
a
show
fact.
regardless. Certain people gotta go extreme because their joint is not that really that tight like that. So they bring the element of support. They bring it out like that. But when you got certain assets, it's gonna show regardless. You could be wearing a suit. You could be suited and booted. That big booty's gonna show. Trust me.
can't hide it.
You can't hide it. So
No, because we spoke of that topic. I want to be respectful of time because now time is against us.
okay.
Second thing was just like, you know, what men think women want versus what women really want. And that was an interesting conversation I was having. And she was just like, you know what? Men think you a man because, okay, you can make me come. Or you a man because you pay bills or you have money and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know what? Those things are important.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But that's not what, especially in our age, that's not what a lot of women are looking for in a man.
Hold on. That is not what makes you a man. Those things are not necessarily what makes you a man, but those are definitely the things that women want. So don't get me twisted when they're talking about.
I wish
no,
I could have a woman.
is-
But no, but let me give you.
We definitely
more,
should have a woman on the panel
I
next
know.
time. But
let me give you more
another story.
context to that because
Okay.
I was thinking to myself, nah, bro. I was thinking the same thing like you. Nah, she wrong because when I was younger, that's all I heard. I need a man to do this. I need a man to do that. But the caveat or the continuation to that point is of a certain age. We're all 35 plus, right? So now it's just like women that we meet. Like I'm not in the streets, but if we're meeting women who are age and stuff like that, they're accomplished. So the average 30-something-year-old woman, she not worrying about you having to bring bank to her because her situation a lot of times is already solid. The orgasm thing, of course, they still need it, but with this day and age and stuff like that, the roses, the super duper dildos and stuff like that, they gonna find a way to get off even if it's not through you. What she said is a big thing that women our age are looking for in men that a lot of men aren't bringing to the table is being leaders, is being able to run the household, being able to show her something, being able to make her feel protected.
Yeah, a lot of women- yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
Making me feel like you a man because you lead me, you teaching me something, you taking me to the next step. And she was just like, she's out here and a lot of dudes are talking about, I got this car in the driveway or I got such and such, but they're lost. They have no direction because their whole life they've been running around chasing the quote unquote bag, but not with a plan. That's why so
Yeah.
many, and there's just a lot of dudes is just like, yeah, they, you know, all they do is just pipe shorty, so they know how to pipe, but they fucking can't keep fucking, they can't keep her place. You know what I'm saying? They don't got shit going. She's just like a lot of dudes out there are one or the other, but there's not leaders out there.
She's looking for a relationship with substance and stability, something where she can
but
rely
it's more
on.
so she's just like a lot of these men aren't out here are looking for extended version of their moms and not necessarily being a leader.
You say she's women. They're making bank now, right? So they're not necessarily looking for a man to take care of them financially in every aspect, right? Mm-hmm. But you find me a woman who's making more than her man and is willing to let him lead her. I think that'd be hard for you to find, right? Because this is what I'm saying. No, this is what I'm saying. Women judge you usually on your financial status as a man. A lot of times, not all the times, but a lot of times that's the case. So if you're not making what she making or more, but then you telling her, let me lead you, she like, nigga, let me lead you.
Yeah, like,
you're not even on my level. You see? That's where the problem is.
Let me tell you, like, even though these examples
can't agree with that, bro.
Didn't necessarily work out kind of thing. There's a lot of women like, the Wendy Williams or the Mary J. Bliges or stuff like that, where they had these men who are leading them, not necessarily, even though both of those situations didn't turn out well. Managing them and stuff like that. And they showed the leadership quality in them, and that's what attracted them to them because they helped direct them in certain ways. Obviously,
that ain't nothing but gift of gab, baby.
Yeah, but
they ain't leaders.
But
look at
that
Wendy Williams' husband. He wasn't a leader.
But not even that. Not even that.
Gab.
Like, regardless of what, you could have all those qualities. The respect factor ain't gonna be there if your bag ain't the same or trust me. It's a whole different ballgame because when y'all get into arguments or whatever, she gonna let you know exactly who you are.
Yep.
What he said.
You think Beyonce is with Jay-Z because of his bag?
Absolutely. No. I'm not saying because she needs the money. It looks better for her brand. That's why she stayed with him. She don't need listen. At this
point, Jay-Z's her husband. They have kids together.
No,
A woman. If you find a woman who leaves her dude after they have a couple of kids and stuff like that, and the dude's not really beating her ass or doing something crazy, that's very, very rare.
What I'm saying is
because it's easy as a man. You have 3 kids, 2 different baby.
I think Jay-Z's with Beyonce for her bag more than she's with him for his bag.
No,
he likes saying my wife is a
when you're with greatness, right?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not saying that if Jay-Z was completely broke, that Beyonce would be himself like that. It's the greatness factor of it.
If Jay-Z couldn't even have a conversation with her if he wasn't with her.
She's with Jay-Z because it's the respect that man has across the world. It's his brilliance. It's his stature. She's with him more for stature than financial because he's a billionaire. She has $800 million. She's not going to struggle without him.
Of course not.
But it's just like you leave Jay-Z. Who you going to be with after Jay-Z? That's not going to be considered.
What women... Like
even Beyonce, even Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson breaking up now.
What women... really is gonna let the man lead, and
they broke up.
What woman is really letting their man lead, and they make more money than that man? Show me some examples that where this man makes. Yeah, he's 100% right. When the finances,
there's a lot of women like that who, because let me tell you another thing.
I don't want you to think that I'm completely disagreeing with you. Yes, that is very important to women. Women want to be led. If you ever talk to a woman and just listen, she's looking for you to guide her and direct her in certain areas.
Yeah.
So as a man, if you are a good leader, you can definitely almost get any woman.
The crazy thing about it is every woman that I've dated or took seriously has always made more money than me. But what they respected about me is when they sat down and had conversations with me, they was like, damn, this kid knows what the hell he's talking about. I could lead in direction and stuff like that. I'll give you an example. Like my wife is older than me. She's always like made more money than me. Now in a situation where that dynamic is changing, but it's just like it's the leadership it's the vision that I had. Like I told my wife in December, we're gonna live in Long Island in May, and she said, at the time we wasn't even looking at it. She's like what it costs to get there, everything's crazy. She's like, what are you talking about? And then I made that happen. Pretty much just told her like, just come along for the ride, and I kind of let her and stuff like that. And she looked at me the other day. She was just like, yo, I sit back and said, yo, we had this conversation, and you told me you was gonna do this, and I laughed in my head like he's just talking crazy, and then you made it happen. And she was just like, I was so moved by that. I still laughed to myself like, how do you make it happen? She was impressed by my leadership and my direction kind of thing. That to women around our age is more impressive than you saying like, I drive such and such, right? Because a lot of times,
I don't even think it's just around our age. I'm telling you, women, listen.
Now the younger women, the younger women are always either where the bag at or
they don't care nothing about that.
But listen, if you can direct them to it, you can. The oldest profession. What's the oldest profession?
Prostitution.
And who you got running prostitute?
Pimps.
You got pimps. Right?
But that's leadership.
That's leadership.
Right?
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. Women are looking for men, especially at a certain age, to be leaders. Beyonce is with Jay-Z because Jay-Z was the older, like, established, like, you gotta remember.
Yeah.
When Jay-Z was like 34, 35 when he met Beyonce. And Beyonce was
LeBron.
Beyonce was like 20 something, like 22, 20.
You never seen the pictures where Beyonce be looking at LeBron? I don't like that though. So I'm like, damn, man.
No, but you know what it is? Jay-Z done cheated on her one
It
too
ain't
many
about that.
times.
She
No,
been
no.
gazing in
Jay-Z done
LeBron
cheated
for
on
a
her
minute,
one
since
too
he was
many
18.
times, and now she now I'm talking like me and Beyonce cool and we in a group chat. But I'm saying women in that situation is kind of just like, yo, I'm not gonna do it because it hurts my brand more being caught out there cheating than it hurts his brand. But she's sticking to herself.
But that's how grimy women are. Well, a woman's not gonna just cheat with any old Joe Smo. She's gonna cheat with somebody close to you, your homie, somebody that'll hurt you.
Yeah, hurt you or bring
like,
some kind of value.
That be the difference.
Is cool, right?
When we cheat, it's checkers. It be like which body I could get, which body's interesting to me.
Some of them don't even look good. You just like, yo,
woman cheat game be chess, bro. She going after your queen. You know what I'm saying? She going for the finishing product. All right, so let's get back to the topic. So we got like less than 40 minutes, but I feel like we can move through these topics smoothly. First topic is temporary dating, right? And it's just like this because, you know, a lot of times when we keep it real, like you said, when you not want to be in a relationship, you're just pretty much renting people. You're trying to see how much of a good time you can have, especially when you establish that, you know, I don't want to be in a relationship. And there's videos out there, women say, men always think that we trying to get into a relationship. Nah, some women just, I want you to come over, make me come, and get the hell out of here. I don't give a damn about your dreams. It was a woman comedian who said that, and we got to keep it a buck. Sometimes it's like that. But, you know, temporary dating is also, and as a man, I got to keep it a buck. Sometimes it's just like, and Clifford always brings up what Carmelo Anthony said. Lala married. I'm not married. He had said that jokingly behind the scenes, right?
He said that.
Because men always feel like when we have an attachment to you, you got to be loyal to me. But I'm loyal to how I want to feel, kind of thing. So the first topic, temporary dating. First question is it okay to date someone until you find something better? Because a lot of times when we say we don't want to be in a relationship, we're usually with someone we're willing to lose. You never hear someone say, I'm not ready to be in a relationship when he found his quote unquote Beyonce. Because then dude's like, F it, I'm out the game. And don't get it twisted. You can feel that way, you get locked in, and then the line in you may want to go back out there and cheat. But it's not that you no longer don't want to be in a relationship. It's just you being, you know, to your temptations. But a dude never let his Beyonce walk away because he's not ready to be in a relationship. Right?
That's a fact.
So, is it okay to date someone until you find something better?
No. It's not okay. Once you realize that person is not for you, and you can tell they want to see where things can go further, but you know you're not trying to go. Listen, I was guilty of this, okay? I was guilty of this.
probably was
I'm
all
trying to
guilty of that.
figure some shit out. You know what I'm saying? So I passed the time with somebody, but it wasn't too long after I realized I'm not gonna settle down with this person. And once I listened to them and heard what they wanted and their, thoughts of what we could be and all that, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to continue to waste their time. Yeah. I tell them like this: I don't want to block your.
But you know
blessing.
what it is?
As your best friend, I'm gonna choose as your best friend. I can say that you have been guilty of that. But what I give you props for? No, but what I give him props for is he always reaches a point where he's just like, you know what? This is a quality person. I don't want to stand in her way anymore. Yeah. And I let her go.
I'm not to
nine out of 10 times they don't want to go, so they continue on this month-to-month lease. But you gave them the option to break the lease.
But I let go quite a few quality women, just because they wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But
okay, what are you gonna say?
The problem with that, it's not even just. Sometimes you with somebody because you don't want to be alone. Mm-hmm. That's so a lot of times people, you think you're renting, but it's not just renting a person. A lot of times, especially when you get older, you realize, hold on, man, I want to be with somebody. Not because you just dying to be in a relationship. You want to, when you're in the dating world, and I got a lot of friends, they got money, whatever, they dating, whatever, they be like, yo, this shit don't have no substance though. I'm dating. You can't really call the person and be like, yo, invent to that point because you're not there.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people especially in the mid 30s and old 30s, they don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Men and women. You'll be surprised how many men be like, yo, man, I'm just tired. Like, you gotta think about the average man in their 30s and that did him. I've been doing me since I'm a different breed. I started early. But what I'm saying is, you gotta think about it. You got like 20 years in the game. From when you're 16 and all the way into your mid-30s. That's 20 years of doing whatever you wanted to do. So when you get to a certain age, you like, yo, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to tell this girl I'm not ready to take the next step with it. I really don't think it's long term, but I don't want to be alone. I'm gonna keep her around. I'm gonna still respect her and do certain things.
But that's why you got a lot of people settling.
No, you get a lot of people settling and stuff. What you call because a lot of people are not being honest to each other. No, and they don't want to be alone. You're right.
Like you said, I know somebody right now who's in a situation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak on her name or
okay,
whatever.
Okay, we don't have to
give
the name. That's their business.
She's a professional, doing well for herself, right? Had a great situation. Well, not a great situation. She had a man. They was together for a while. They moved in together. Got engaged.
Yeah.
She met somebody who satisfied her to another level sexually. And her fiance was constantly fighting. So she was like, she wanted him to leave. She didn't want to deal with him no more. She wanted to move on to this other guy. That's all she was saying for months, damn near over a year.
Yeah.
Her fiance finally got tired of the shit. Said, I'm going to leave. I'm done with this, right? Okay, you should be happy now. Everything's good. The girl is fucked up.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to be with him. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about
but that's the selfish person in her, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of the times is this, right? And this is what happens is sometimes you with a partner and sexually the chemistry is there. When you are sick of that person, you're not going to give them their best anymore. You're like, fuck that. I don't want to be around this person because they make me sick, right? So he probably hit his plateau of, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Shorty must really think I'm a bum. I'm good. I'm out. So now she didn't really think he was going to push forward like that. Yeah. He pushed forward.
She never believed he was really going to leave.
Yeah.
And
so
when he called bluff.
Yeah, everybody got their breaking point.
I said, you were crazy, though.
Everybody got their breaking point.
But that's a power play, too, right? Because it's just like, when you know you in control and you kind of in a situation where it's just like, I don't want them and stuff like that, and then they get the gumption to bounce. And because you said she's a professional, she does well to her, stuff like that. She's like, yo, I'm the total package. I decided when this rodeo stopped, when the ride stopped. And when he called her bluff, she's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So, but
that's what I told her. I said, you don't really want that man. I said, I don't think you really want that man because all the things you complained about, I dealt with during that relationship. That's not what you want. You were just upset at the fact that he decided this is over, and you didn't decide that. You was doing you was having your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
And he was like, I had to give her props though, because I swore that she was gonna get caught out there, and she never did.
This is what I want to say. Is it okay to date someone till you find something better? It's a gray area, right? Because technically that's what we all do. Like you said, especially when you're at a certain age, you want to be alone by yourself.
You don't want to be alone.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I always call it a bad Wednesday. A bad Wednesday is when it's just like, it's the middle of the week. You ain't got shit pumping. You start going through your phone call, and you might call a borderline Smeagol to come spend some time with you.
Not even that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what I call on a bad Wednesday.
No.
But what I want to say, the point is, it's not right to say that, but that's what we do as a society, and we have to acknowledge that. My thing is, you have to kind of also be kind of clear in your communication, like, yo, let's get to know each other. Let's have fun and see where it goes. But you, as a person, whether you're the man, whether the woman, you have to set a timeline for yourself to be like, yo, you know what? It's cool. I don't got something going either. I'll give him 6 months to a year. But you can't give a dude 5 years to decide whether or not he wants to be permanent with you or not. The time already told you what's going on.
Here's a line when you meet a chick. Be like, first thing, hey, how you doing? How much of your time do you think I can waste before we figure out if this is gonna go anywhere? How much of your time are you willing to let me waste?
Like I said, I think a lot of people, they like, like when you get to a certain age, you don't want to be alone. It's different when you gotta think about it. This is all the factors and dynamics of it, right? People older or not older, but in their 30s, whatever, too, we're not going to the clubs anymore. Mm-hmm. We're not meeting people on a day-to-day basis. How when you're in 18 and you're 20s, going out every day is fun. That's whatever. Now you go out once every 2 weeks and you like, yo, I had a great time, but you cool for the next 2 weeks because you got real obligations. You got to spend time with your kids. All this play a factor. So when you get older, you're like, yo, I don't want to be alone. So a lot of times, like you said, you settling. You're being with people. You're not really wasting their time to the point, whatever. You're figuring it out. Like, listen, and then you're not going to
wasting their time if you're not honest and
What dude is gonna tell a chick that he likes sex? He likes her sex. That yo, I know you can fuck good, but you not. I don't want you to be the mother of my kids. Right?
Let's keep it a lot of great relationships start in the most weird ways. The sex was good. This person was stress free, and then you continue to grow. This is what I tell people who are dating until they find something better. It's okay if both of you guys kind of have a clear understanding, or even if it's a gray area, you establish your own boundaries, right? Yeah. Because you can't. So many women like, I gave him 10 years of my life, and he just walks away like that. No, you chose to give him that 10 years of your life. Because, baby girl, you could have got off the ride anytime you decided to. Mm-hmm. Don't put yourself in a temporary dating situation where you're dependent on the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no control of what's next. I'm not saying all relationships, all dating has to lead into like marriage or to a permanent relationship. But you have to be okay. There's so many women out there who's just like, you know what? If I bide my time, if I do this, I'll wear him down, or I'm gonna change his mind. That don't work.
No.
I'm not gonna bring. Now it's gonna sound too shady, but I know situations where people have been together for 21 years, no marriage, no kids.
They're happy.
I don't know if they're happy. I know the dude is okay with it, but I'm pretty sure his woman's not okay with having no kids and not being married. But she technically don't want to lose him, so she's there for the ride. Mm.
But so
he may go to his maker happy as all hell. I'm not sure she's gonna go to her maker happy as hell. So whatever relationship situation you in, if you're not happy, get out. If you're not being fulfilled, and if the person's not pouring into you, get out. Because at the end of the day, what is the point?
Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, I'm good. It's tough. Like I said, a lot of times is like Mike said, you know, it's not about buying. People don't want to be alone. It's a scary feeling, bro. You ever been? I think we all been there. It's typical when we were dating, whatever. Too. If you have a certain amount of chicks, you going through, and you're like, damn, I ain't got nothing for today. That could break your confidence sometimes. I don't care what you could be the biggest player.
When you've been
in a real talk, I've been there where I'm, and my boy Al can talk about it.
Ringing,
nothing is pumping. You like, damn,
and
then you like, you start thinking about like. You start thinking like, yo, I fell off, or like, listen, I don't got the same too. So a lot of times people don't want to be alone, especially older. So you like, you know, at least I know this person's gonna be this. They'd be there.
I'm glad
we've been doing this podcast.
Able to grow and be comfortable with being by myself. I love the company of a nice, soft, supple woman. You know, ready for the action. I love it, but I am good when I'm by myself. I need my hookah, my TV, and a nice drink.
I am the total opposite. I have so badly been programmed. We've been doing this podcast I'm gonna get to the point I'm trying to.
Married, he's been programmed.
We've been doing this podcast for 5 years.
Yeah,
and you always hear me say this saying, I'm a domesticated cat. I am only good being by myself when I had made plans to be by myself. Let me randomly I didn't have plans to be by myself. After 4 hours, I don't know what the hell to do with myself.
Not me. I'm good.
After I watch a couple of TV and stuff like that, I'm just like, I always want to give my wife her space to go do what she needs to do with her family and stuff like that. But that's one beautiful thing, even though we don't have any kids. Family is important for us, both of us. So I always let her do her family time uninterrupted. She always let me do my family time uninterrupted, kind of thing. But there's been times in the marriage where she has to go on a trip for a week for work because she used to do conventions every year, big conventions in the makeup industry. And I always would say, yo, I got a week to myself. I'm going to be a bachelor. All it be Hot Pockets and fucking frozen food and watching TV and sleeping on the couch and not going to bed. My shit don't be lit at all. I'm a domesticated cat. So I get people wanting to be with someone I'm not with my wife just to have somebody. But like when you're so used to, people always say like, oh, you know, I've been in a relationship for so long. I would love to be single. It's a whole nother game out there. Too Short. We had a segment he's just like, yo, I'm a player, you know what I'm saying? But he's like, the game is different now. I'll be out there in the clubs and chilling. And, you know, girls used to just want to be around me because I'm too short. Now these girls are coming up to me like, oh, you want to hang out? What's your cash app?
That's a fact, boy.
And this is Too Short. He's like, I'm a player, but it's just like the game is completely different out there.
That's a fact. Listen, this new Savage City Girl Life joint is a whole different boy. I feel bad for the new generation because they damn near forced to be
hard to find love.
they damn near forced to be get that bag or be in the streets. Real talk, because all these girls. And you know what it is? The music of some of these ladies are giving them the wrong thing.
F-R-E-E, fuck nigga free.
Because what happens is when you're from the 80s and up, whatever too, it was that phone call was important. Talking every day and you talk to tonight with that was a must. Now I could tell Shorty, yo, you know what it is. I got the Benz outside. I got money in my account. It's nothing to talk about. What we doing? You understand, Mike? And then he's like, you know what? Fuck it. What we doing? You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of bargain. Before the courting and stuff is not there no more. So now it's like it's a savage world. That
I can always find a good girl though in this city girl lifestyle. I can always find
maybe at the poetry club.
So let me make another point on this topic. If you're dating someone. If someone you're dating says, I like you, but I'm not ready to commit long term, are you then single?
Yeah, I mean, you
the moment, like you've been rocking with someone tough for 2 years, but, you know, y'all never established your girlfriend and boyfriend, and then they say, you know, I'm not ready for a long-term commitment.
So she got
Or I'm not ready to get married, and you at that point. Are you now single?
you are free and able to do whatever you want as long as you establish what you're gonna do with the situation too. You can't just be like, I'm single because of that, because at the end of the day, you still got 2 years is a long time. So it's something still invested. You understand? So you gotta tell yourself that you gotta have the conversation. Okay, you don't want a long-term relationship, whatever too. So you don't mind me dating other girls or whatever too, respectfully, and vice versa.
Dudes got to be able to handle it, because I've known of situations where a woman went to a man who she was dating for 2 years, and she's like, yo, I don't want this no more. So if you're not ready to commit, I'm single then, and I could start entertaining her. He's like, man, I'll beat your ass. You ain't single, but I'm not ready to get married. What kind of shit is that?
No. So let me tell you what this.
I don't know what kind of situation is that, Nick.
You are not single, right? Just because somebody is not at the level that you are as far as where they want the relationship to progress. Now, if that's a deal breaker for you and y'all have the discussion, then you can say, well, if you're not ready to take it there, then this relationship is over.
Yeah.
Now, if you say that, that's fine, but that has to be established, right?
You can't serve two masters.
My thing is, though, why even continue on with the facade? You know what I'm saying? Why even, if a chick said that to a dude, oh, well, because you're not ready to be married right now, I'm going to entertain other guys and I want to date. Bitch, have at it. But you ain't dating me along the way.
Exactly.
No,
exactly. So it's a choose.
That's not happening.
That's why I would say you can't serve two masters. It's a
if
choose
you are
or
willing
lose.
to wait till I'm ready, we continue on in our relationship, and you can wait till I'm ready, or you can go on and speed up your process.
You
and be
can't
what you
even
wanna
come
be.
to a boss nigga like me and say that, cause I'm gonna make you understand what it is. Cause I'm not even saying that cause I'm the best dude in the world. I know what I bring to the table. Period. So I'm gonna tell you, shorty, listen here, fly. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do. Listen.
Grow some
Hey,
wings.
no, I'm like, listen. Yo, the streets is for you right now. I'm gonna tell you that. But I'm gonna tell you, listen. Once the streets is for you, trust me, and the streets is for me too. It's gonna be two dangerous streets out there, and it's no coming back.
That's the thing. Like, ladies, if you make an ultimatum, you got to be able to like act on it, because ultimatums don't push dudes into like feeling a certain kind of way. Ultimatums make dudes be like, "Hi, you playing yourself." You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes will be like, "All right, whatever." Dudes will call your bluff, and dudes kind of 9 out of 10 times, dudes know, like, you know what? Women more likely want to be in the relationship than you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's women out there. That women always say like, "Oh, yeah, I like penis the same way that dudes like vagina and stuff like that." But do women feel a certain more way when they have multiple dudes sleeping with them and moving them around? Because part of them kind of get taken away with each partner that they have that kind of way, and they feel a certain kind of way. Where men is just like, we just put something in the hole and then we out. You know what I'm saying?
Did we ever discuss? I think we did. The topic of a woman proposing to a man. We discussed.
We
that
never
before.
formally discussed that.
No, we gotta discuss that.
Because that's my thing in a situation like that. Go ahead and as a woman, put yourself out there. Because that's what we do when we get down on one knee and propose to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking a chance.
That's a fact.
I wouldn't say 9, 8 times out of 10, you know what the answer's going to be
Yeah.
when that happens. But there are those moments
Where people got embarrassed, like,
you know
listen,
what I'm saying?
man. Listen.
Women don't really put themselves out there like that.
Let me
So
let me tell you about those situations when those dudes happen.
He already had
It's like 3 situations, right? 1, dude's been mad shitty the whole relationship,
Yeah.
right? Mad shitty,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he
wanna
realized, like,
change.
yo, my bullshit meter done hit a high level. I gotta change the game, and they propose, and the woman's like, hell no! After all this shit you did for me,
You just cheated on me last week.
Then there's a situation where dude knows shorty's not feeling him. It's not a secret. It's not a surprise. But he's just like, you know what? That's when you see those dudes who be like, will you marry me? And the girls are like,
what are you doing? Like,
those dudes are bored.
get
What
up,
about
get
her
up.
friend?
Get up.
That's
Get
more
up.
than like her friend who decided like, yo, not only am I gonna jump out of the friend zone, I'm gonna go. Or you can't go from the fucking friend zone to her husband.
You see that dude, and she like, get up. What are you doing?
Because they're not like that.
And then he wants to.
You ever seen that?
Then he wants to invite 100 of his family members.
Yeah, you knew the situation.
Put that pressure on him. That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
That's
that
a pressure
pressure.
thing. You got everybody
You
watching.
ever seen that clip on The Price is Right when the guy's like, how long y'all been together? And she's laughing like, he's like 6 months. She's like, we're not together. We're just friends. And she's laughing and he's over there like, what you got to say that for? Dude, there's a big disconnect. You know what I'm saying? So let me tell you, women look forward to getting proposed to way more than we look forward to asking that kind of question. When you see those situations and stuff like that, it's a huge disconnect.
That's why it's hard to get a no in that situation. Even if she really don't want to,
She'll
say yes
she'll
and
probably
then figure it
yeah,
out
no.
later.
She'll probably say yes if it's a big audience. That's so she don't want to make you look like a fool. And then when you get back home or whatever, she's gonna be like, come on, man.
What you doing?
We not really engaged.
Unless that ring is big enough, then she be like, I might be able to do this.
She's gonna be like, you know we ain't engaged, right? I just didn't want to make you look like a fool. You invited 120 people I don't even like.
Yeah.
And to do that, I didn't want to embarrass you in front of, I have enough respect for you for that. But we're not engaged. Yeah. We're just taking it day by day.
I'm gonna wear this ring though, just so you know.
You know? I do, but a lot of dudes do that sometimes. And come on, you not even that.
Love
You
can be
haven't.
bought.
You've been fucking around on her. You've been doing all the shit that say you're not ready to get married. Most men are not ready to get married to the point where they know everything. Like people always say, most men like, yeah, I got everything. I'm good, whatever.
Nah, you got to figure it out.
And then you
in the
it's-
relationship.
But my thing is, you never know. Speaking back to the situation you said, where a nigga's fucking around on a chick all this time, and then he's like, my fuck meter is at an all-time high. Let me just propose to her. If she stayed around for all of that, there's a good chance she probably will say yes when you propose. Because if she's willing to stick around through all that shit and still be just your girl, now you give her the title of wife?
A lot of times, dudes don't move till they realize, shit, my old tricks ain't working no more. Shorty's already checked out. By that point, Shorty already know who your replacement is. She's just lining up the dominoes to when she's going to knock that thing down. And then you want to play the proposal game.
You got to throw a monkey wrench in there and throw her off track.
All right,
You thought I was just going to lay
so
down
the
and
last
take
question
this
is, if you're honest about not getting married anytime soon, is it okay for your partner to start looking for someone who is? Do you have to break up at that point?
You don't have to break up and the person should start going like, it's no timetable. Like especially with men gotta feel it. Like I was with Arlene I was with my wife 7 years, whatever too. And it was literally I was off one day and me and Mo, I was chilling at Mo's crib. I remember that lady at Bays. I was like, yo, I'm gonna propose to Arlene. I'm gonna propose to what you call it. It's because and she was a headache at the time too.
Had y'all talked about it before?
No, it wasn't. She kept taking me. She's in a sorority, so she kept taking me to the little engagement part, little stuff that says, all right. She's like, come on, man. Like, what I gotta do, whatever. Too, boom. And we were together when we didn't have any money. Like we were just in college, whatever. Too. We built everything together.
So y'all got together kind of on the younger side.
No,
too.
on the younger side. But what I'm saying is, this is like I just knew, let me step up. That's what I felt. And I'm not talking German. I could have got 3 more years out of it, probably. I had 3 good Jordan years left in me. Probably like, you know what? It is what it is. But I was like, you know what? I think the time I was 28 at the time, and I felt like I was maturing a little more, and I did it. But you gotta feel it, dude. Dudes will go through their lady phone like, oh snap, she about to bounce. Yo, let me make a move.
Listen, that's why my marriage didn't work. I didn't feel it. I did it.
And you got married real young, Mike.
I got married real young, but I also got married to get ultimately what I want. Me and my ex-wife, we had already had a daughter together.
Yeah.
Right? My daughter was born, and I had moved to provide for us. I moved to where my job was, so I moved upstate. I thought that she was moving with me, and we would start our family, but she chose not to because she listened to her mother. Y'all women out there that are real tight with your moms, listen, Look at your mom's life. If that's what you want, then you do that. But otherwise, don't listen to your mother. So anyway, she said she wasn't going to marry me, or she wasn't going to move in with me until we were married. But I wanted my daughter there full time. I wanted to be a full-time dad for her. And I loved her mother. I just wasn't ready to be married. But I said, you know what? I got to do this to get what I want.
Yeah.
I said, eventually it's probably going to happen. And eventually it would have happened. But eventually I would have been ready. When you do it when you're not ready, that's
Chaos
when shit
happens.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, chaos
so
happened.
we got married, and then I had all these kind of issues. This man know all the shit that I was going through. Like,
I mean,
I wasn't
but at
ready.
the end of the day, now you guys are like the best of friends. So,
But y'all would, sometimes, listen, that happens. Sometimes, you wasn't ready. And then y'all, the experience of it, like, it's tough. Like, because you think that sometimes, like, you got to feel it. You got to know what you're doing. Even as a lady, like, don't still get quick to get married when you know he's punching you in the face. Like, women will be like, oh, he's finally going to do it. But he hasn't been a good man to you. Why you want to be long-term with this person? I've known women that, like, he does that because I know he loves me, but
there's some chicks out there who, if you don't get aggressive with them, they don't believe you really care about them.
It's toxic.
Yeah,
they're not gonna listen to you unless you go upside their head. But I don't believe in that mentality. But there's women out there who do that.
But what I'm saying is this: like, you just got to be ready. And as a man, I don't know what it was. It wasn't even the fact that I was going to a engagement party, whatever. Too. We were sitting back. I don't know what we was talking about. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna propose to her, whatever." Too.
Yeah,
I think it was more of her commitment. Like I say this all this time. I say it in front of friends, whatever. She made our relationship work. She met me as a savage, but I laid it out to her. I said, "Yo, you're gonna have to give me like 6 months to clear the way for me." But I told her that. No, seriously, I was on that kind of time. I told her that.
What she said?
She was driving to Binghamton every week to make sure
so he was clearing that way.
The lines are clear. And I'm
talking about Spanish women.
Listen.
When a Spanish woman wants something,
listen.
she do whatever she gotta do to get it.
But listen, I'm not saying that because I love my wife, headache or not, whatever. Too, she stuck with the kid when the kid got sick. Most women are like, yo, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a give and take. But you gotta be ready, both parties. Don't just do it because it look good on Instagram. You could take 30 pictures and say, "Girl, look what he bought me," whatever. Too. You gotta be with somebody. You gotta say to yourself, "Oh, they're gonna be with me through the hard times."
Yeah.
That's why.
You gotta look at the person and say, Instagram girl gonna say, "Yo, at the 6 month with you, she gonna get Rick Ross, Meek Mills, and Future." You know what I'm saying? Is you knew that from jump, and you decided to have a baby with her. Yeah. That's who you are. You're a clown.
Let me tell you, the quote that I heard, and I tell this to all my friends and people when we discussing relationships or marriage. It said, it was some show I was watching, and the guy asked his boy, he's like, "So you ready to say yes to all of them?" So his boy was like, "What the hell are you talking about? All of them? I'm marrying her."
Her family, her friends.
No. Not her family, her friends. Say, you going to say yes to who she is now, who she is 5 years from now, who she is 10 years from now, and who she is 20 years from now. Because they're not going to be the same person.
That's a fact.
And that's what people don't realize. They love the person you are at the time. Oh, I love him. I want to marry him. Okay? But the person he's going to be 5 years from now, I forgot where I saw
that's
it.
deep.
But that's deep.
Because I'm thinking to myself,
shout out to my Facebook
no, that's
friend.
deep.
My Facebook friend,
you gotta send that out.
My Facebook friend Mark Kelly,
it.
he did a post where he was just like, "Yo, fellas, make sure that face package is right because a lot of you out here marrying these Dr. Miami cheeks." And then you got to realize in a couple of years, them cheeks start sagging. They look crazy. And the face package is not there.
But that's just the least of your worries. The physical, we all know physically we not going to be the same.
Yeah, like you want to be,
But that be the driving point for a lot.
The mentally, the emotionally, we all change. I think women more so than men. We change as we get older and as we experience things. So
let me close out.
You got to love all of her. And who you think she gonna be?
Because we got short time. Let me close out this thing. So the question was if you was honest about not getting married anytime soon. Is it okay to let your partner start looking for someone else, or do you have to break up? Once you put that ultimatum out there, you got to break up. If you're not willing to break up, then just realize, like, yo, you asking yourself for trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it organically happen. You have to and men, you have to also understand, you can't tell a woman, I'm not ready to get married, and just expect her to fully still could be committed to you. You have to break out a plan. A woman's looking for a leader in that situation. I'm not ready to get married to you right now, but these are the milestones that I need to hit. Yes. Hold me accountable to these milestones so that we can get there together. I'm not saying you have to do this for me.
I can respect that.
But these are my milestones. Help me.
Before we take that commitment, I have to be here.
Yeah. Hold me accountable to it. Maybe you could help me. Maybe you don't have to help me. Hold me accountable to it. But this is my explanation to you. Because some dudes just say, I'm not ready to get married. And then they give their woman no explanation. So now she's going to either start entertaining other dudes, or your relationship's going to start turning toxic. So let me go to this last. I have other topic. We'll see how fast we could go through this. When the condom comes off, a lot of times we know if we're not on savage mode,
let's keep these answers quick.
You start in a relationship wearing a condom, and then the condom kind of goes off. And a mature relationship is when you guys already communicated, we're committed, we're ready to have unprotected sex. You know, a lot of savages out here from day one, they had unprotected sex. Sometimes unknown.
No, listen, I know too many people who roll the dice, whatever. I ain't gonna go to I got too many savage dudes that do that. But what I'm saying is even when you mess with somebody, I don't know, be sure. After a month, that condom coming off. I'm keep it buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Especially if
after
you're
a month, if you seen that person on a day-to-day basis, you're like, baby girl, I know you. You know what I'm saying? That condom coming off.
So let me ask the first question: is wanting to have a continued unprotected sex a good enough reason to get into a relationship?
No.
But a lot of times, especially when a woman's holding out on it, dudes will get into a relationship just so they can take the condom off.
Dudes.
That's not a good enough reason.
No, that's not a good reason. Whatever. Too. Like a dude. Sometimes I'll wait for a female, but he'll be fucking somebody else while he's waiting.
To be honest with you,
right? He's like, yo, I'm waiting. She said she gotta wait, but I got some.
To be honest with you, to me, I think it is a good enough reason because I'm only gonna choose someone that I want to take the condom off if I rock with you and connect with you on that level. I'm not that desperate to have sex with someone unprotected that I want to take the condom off if I don't really have that connection. So to me, it is a good enough reason because then I made that decision like, yo, this is someone who I want to.
This may be the ignorance in me. Even at my old age, I'm still a little ignorant. But if I meet a woman and I'm asleep with her, I usually try to pick women who I feel comfortable enough to know that, hey, if I want to nut in her or sleep in her, or I feel safe about it because I think she's a quality girl.
And you can deal with the consequences that may come with that.
Listen, that's such as life. But I don't fuck with these much. I know you got some bad bitches out here. I see them all the time. I've been to Miami. I've been out there. I know there's some bad bitches out here that are willing to fuck, but I don't necessarily go for them because I know how many motherfuckers that probably ran through you.
Not even just ran through you. You don't listen. It's not saying what you call it, boom. That everyday, day-to-day attention and all that. It's cool to be like, yo, I want to mess with her too, but nobody really wants to be with that. It's too much going on. I gotta feel insecure about myself because the internet going crazy off you.
Those really bad joints usually wind up with weirdos, right? It don't be the really bad joints don't wind up with your average stand-up dude.
Yeah.
It's usually a weirdo because you got to deal with a lot with that. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
especially someone who's not really from their culture. So you'll find a baddie who's with like this white dude from Iowa and shit like that, right? Because he don't care about none of your background and stuff like that. So let me ask the next question. Would society, this is a deep question, would society be a better place if conception to term required a cosigner? As in, both parties have to legally agree. So conception to term means like, I impregnated you, you get to carry the baby and have the baby, but only if I agree that I want you to have this baby. Because a lot of times, and I know it's not all this time because people are going to jump down my throat. No, men need to be more responsible. But there's certain women that go out there to personally trap a dude, especially if they're trying to like mess with Drake, go in the bathroom, pop a hole in the condom. I know that's the high net worth dude, but let's keep it a buck. No, not all situations are consensual. Sometimes
said,
women.
what will happen?
Will society be a better place if conception to
term.
term, like carrying out,
Yeah.
required?
That would be great. That would stop the Ray Caruth kind of situations and stuff. Stuff gets sticky, man, right?
Yeah, Ray
no,
Caruth.
Ray
I'm
Caruth
not.
is an
I'm
extreme.
not trying
If
to.
everybody knows who Ray Caruth is,
I'm not trying
he
to
was
be
a football player who got a woman pregnant,
and then
did not want her to have the baby,
and he killed his
hired-
wife.
and killed her.
No,
But
he didn't do it himself. He paid
He ain't
somebody.
pay someone. What I'm saying is, it
He had
get
her
extreme
killed.
like that.
But the baby survived.
You
But he has
shouldn't want to
mental
have
issues, bad mental
listen.
issues.
You shouldn't want to have a baby with somebody that don't want the kid. Period. Because
But
even
He
if
said women shouldn't.
women shouldn't. Yeah. So what you're saying is that would
But
stop a lot
that's
of
a
things.
lot of- a
And
lot of
also-
situations.
And also, women think sometimes, I got this paper, whatever. So boom, you getting the money from this person, whatever too. But eventually, certain things is just not gonna hit home with you. When you realize this guy don't want nothing to do with the kid, he just sending you the money. That's gonna hurt you after a while because that kid.
Not these chicks who's after the
No.
bag.
Listen, them young girls, they gonna like, man, I don't care. I'm still living. I get my Gucci bag, whatever. But when that kid start asking questions, why my dad is this person? He don't never come, and I know he got a whole other family. That hurts you as a mother.
Yeah, but these
or
women,
whatever, too.
women spin these whole stories to these kids and make the guy a dirtbag.
A lot of times it don't work.
I know a situation where a woman does not want her child to interact with his father because she don't care for that man at all. And I tried to tell her that your relationship with his father cannot dictate his possible relationship with his father. And it's wrong of you to restrict or limit that relationship because of how you feel about that man. I said, you doing a disservice to your son. You want the best for your son. And I know you might feel like he don't provide none of that for him, but your son has to have a choice or at least have the opportunity to have a relationship with his father.
And not
And he
to-
needs
not-
to-
not-
he
not
needs to know
not
the truth about the relationship as well.
Not to cut you off too is, and I tell ladies all the time, you can't teach a young man how to be a man. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I don't care what training you go to, what video you listen to on Instagram, whatever, who giving you advice or whatever. You can't teach that little boy how to be a man.
Just as much as a father can't teach his daughter how to be a
Yeah,
woman.
exactly.
Women
'Cause-
take offense when you say you can't teach a man how, but drop a father off with his daughter and stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of things he can't teach her either.
She's
We
gonna
need
be more
both
like a
influence.
tomboy.
Yeah,
She's gonna be
you cannot.
tomboyish
So
because it's just-
when you say you can't stand him, you don't want him in his life, you are taking away certain values that man might bring to the table to that boy, and he might grow.
Especially if you don't have another man in your life.
And-
If you got another man there, okay, he can now be the example for your son. But if you ain't got no man there, Come on,
It
now.
takes a village.
Yeah.
Men, women,
Yes.
girls, boys, it takes a village. So last question.
That you're right.
Is purposely getting pregnant when both parties agree that they were not trying to. Oh, I'm on protection. I'm using a condom on birth control. That was said. And then we find out that someone manipulated the situation so that the pregnancy could happen. Should that be considered fraud?
absolutely, this is a personal issue.
I think they should put that on the books.
I think somebody should have been arrested.
That should be
I
put
will
on the
speak to a
books.
situation that I know, and God bless all my kids. I'm definitely they are my best blessings, right? But my son's mother was on the IUD after we had my first son. And I used to check for that shit. You know, if anybody knows about IUDs, you can feel the little plastic.
Yeah. You can feel it.
I used to
I've
check
never been
for
with
it.
someone with it. So.
Okay, but there's a little
so-
plastic.
Yeah, you feel
string
the
thing
string.
You can feel
you
for it if you go
the
up in
person
there.
really has it.
Make sure that's still
Oh
present
yeah,
before I go.
so you gotta check.
But you know, I got comfortable because we've been together for a while. I didn't worry about it, and I think she probably decided that whatever she wanted another kid, and it was time for it. But she didn't communicate that to me, so she ended up pregnant, and we never found that IUD. We don't know what happened, though. She denies that she took it out.
Did you just say it just magically came out?
I mean, sometimes I've heard situations where it's shift. You know what I'm saying? So you can still get pregnant.
And but you know the IUD
took
is
that
not.
shit out.
Yeah, but it's
She
not
took that shit
100%.
out.
It's like 90%.
To me, that's a
Because
form
it
of
was in there
fraud.
for like
That's a
3
form of
years,
fraud.
2-3 years. Yeah, and I not that. I mean, I wouldn't make her get an abortion at that point, but I didn't necessarily consent to us having another child.
Yeah, because my thing is like this: if a dude puts something in a woman's drink and then
Sleeps with her,
against her will and stuff like that, that's a crime, right? Because he kind of took away her
rights.
right to say no.
Yeah.
He took away her capability to say no. But I feel like on the same token, if you guys communicated that we're on protection, take the precautions, and you go behind the scenes, poke a hole in the condom, or you stop taking what's name and don't communicate that, you went into a route to defraud that person as well. It doesn't sound as bad as putting
But,
the
We gotta bring the legality. We gotta bring the
And
legalities
then
into it
what
now.
happens is what you're saying about that is we're not just talking about that. Now you're talking about the system make you pay child support for something that you didn't want in the first place, and you know that all plays a part, and then it makes your life miserable. I know people who literally said, I can't take care of my this is a conversation I'm having with grown men. I can't take care of my kids, and I have to pay child support on the summertime, and I got the kid. I don't understand it. How I got the kid and I still got to send her the money. And then they got to get other jobs because they really can't live their life.
child support is so.
We need to have some legal laws.
It's an outdated. It's an outdated system.
Yeah.
It's an outdated
Seriously.
system that they don't really take adjustments for because of the few dudes who are scumbags. They make the child system. It's not one size fit all, but they make it.
But
one
hold
size
on, we
fit
gotta
all.
say this. We gotta say this though. Is that dude really a scumbag from a situation where he just told you that he's not a scumbag? You're just hearing that. You're just hearing,
it's a manipulation into the situation.
No, yeah. What I'm saying is that dude is not a scumbag. He was clear. He identified I didn't want this, and now you take him to the judge. That dude makes $150K. The judge says, you know what? I'm gonna do you a favor. I know you want to be the child. You gotta pay $2,700 every month and you still gotta live. You still got the system. We need to talk about that. And listen. What I'm saying. The system
it's a one size fit all system that's not really catered to every situation.
And it's
And
just
the dumb. Hold on, this is the dumbest part I don't get when it comes to child support, because I do pay child support for my kids, even though I'm actively involved in all of their lives. I still pay child support, right? You can't get anything back on income tax if you make over a certain amount. So you punishing me for making a good wage while taking care of my kids.
I didn't even know that. You see?
Yeah,
That's
you
that's
didn't know that?
fucked
Yeah.
up.
If you gotta make under like 30, I mean, yeah, you gotta make 30, like 34, 35,000 or less to get money for your kids, like when you file income
I didn't
tax.
even know
'Cause
child support strip your license when you don't pay
The
it.
mother-
Yeah. You
I
get a
didn't know
warrant out on
that.
everything.
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Suspend it when you go in the arrears too high, $2,500.
Yo, my boy was like,
I know.
25,
if you go into arrears $2,500, they will suspend your license.
that's crazy.
And then before it goes to being put in jail. That's the next level.
So
we can have a whole show about this.
We know. I'm not, listen, we're not here to bash the woman, right? We're not
it's
here to
definitely
bash
not.
the woman. Or whatever.
It's about the system.
But the system is just unfair when it comes to like. I'm not saying that there's some guys that will just not take care of their kid.
Of course.
Because he said, listen, I'm a savage. I didn't want to be with you. I told
Yo,
you what
but
it
those
was.
is the ones that the women don't even take for child support.
They take the good ones.
They take the good dude, yeah. That's a whole.
You know,
let's
that's
make
a whole
that
nother
the next
topic.
show. We'll do a
Next
whole
show.
child support.
I
we
know
have
we
to.
will.
breaking
We
that
have-
down.
I be looking at them like, hey, you ain't taking for child
And
support.
you know, I know, like, not to put, I know people, I'm like, damn, like, yo, I'm one of my mans that I know, he paying child support, whatever, too, and he got a good job, whatever, too, but he can't do nothing with his kids, and his kids don't respect him because of it. Because they thinking mommy's doing everything, but they don't know
I
the
talk to
dynamics.
my kids. They don't understand
They don't know
that.
the dynamics of it.
Oh, mommy paying for this, mommy paying for that. Oh, yeah? Well, you know how much mommy gets for me on a regular basis? You probably don't know that, do you?
You have to
Let me
say,
explain it to you.
sometimes you got
They
to tell them.
don't. They don't.
Because mom gets to look like Superwoman with that extra
Superwoman.
thing. Meanwhile, you ain't got
No,
nothing.
my kids looked at me sideways before, too. I said, Listen, understand what's going on here.
I wanted to discuss one last topic, but we ran out of time. 30 seconds real quick. It's like, why do we breathe breath into negativity versus death into prosperity? And the sub-question is like, sometimes we're quicker to support a GoFundMe for like, something negative that happens to someone than spending that money into someone's small business. So why do you think that is? My quick answer is sometimes breathing life into somebody's prosperity, they get to go past you. If someone's small business thrives, now they eating, you're not eating like that, so you don't want to contribute to that. But if someone dies or something negative happened, you like, F it, they're doing worse than me, I can help out. What do you think, real quick?
No, you answered it the best you can answer. Like, a lot of times is, people have the mindset is, I don't want to see this person do better than me, so they're not going to support that. But if somebody's in a deep, dark space, he's like, damn. He's down to his last day. He just got evicted. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? It's different. Yeah. But if you feel like this person, this person got 2 other businesses and this is his third, you're like, damn, I'm not supporting that. Dudes won't even eat at your restaurant. They'll go to the restaurant next door.
Let me tell you, I don't know. Honestly, I don't have much of an opinion on this topic. I just want to tell y'all some funny shit, and it may relate to what's going on here. Yeah. You know my cousin, right? Condom.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this nigga's name. These niggas make me sick.
What happened?
This nigga, he's getting married the end of September, right? So he was talking shit about what I did for my birthday. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With the buying the plates and everything, whatever.
Yeah. It was a nice event.
Hey, hold on. This guy's getting married the end of September, right? So he's getting married at the Wynn Hotel in Vegas. Right?
It's a nice place, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. You would think, you got some bread to do that. This motherfucker made a GoFundMe. A GoFundMe to people to donate to his wedding. But he put it on LinkedIn. He put it on Facebook. And I'm like, yo, bro, how you talking about me doing whatever I did for my birthday? You want people who don't know you or not coming to your wedding to fund it?
That's embarrassing, though.
You don't know nothing about fundraising. That's what he told me. I said, wow.
Listen,
that is big time hypocrite.
He only got $50. His goal was $5,000. He only got $50.
We shouldn't air out the family like that. But that was disgusting. That was disgusting.
That's dead wrong.
No, if you knew this
No, but that's disgusting though. He shouldn't have did that. He should have did that.
That's hypocrite.
He should have what he should have did if he really wanted to ask me whatever, so he should have did it on a family group chat. Like, listen, you could contribute. I hate when the people do the GoFundMe and then what you call it, and you don't really like. I'm not saying you don't really have to, but that's your personal gain. You want to get married at the Vegas, whatever.
Yeah. You don't have to do. You go to Justice of the Peace.
Justice of the Peace.
You go into the Wynn in Vegas.
You can do Justice of the Peace and then also get a reception hall to have a nice little event. That's it.
Oh, that's crazy. You let us off with a wow. All right, so. Guys, thanks again for supporting us. This was our first episode in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it feels good to be back, baby.
Good to be back.
Yes,
happy early birthday to myself. Shout out to all the Leos. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 82 was a good year. I turned 40. You know what I'm saying? Last month, this man turned 40. So
the 40 gang is
we're enjoying life, more life and stuff like that. And you want to give any shout out before we close out?
Just shout out to all the good people out there and just, support people, check on your loved ones, and, I'm thankful, man. That's just the space I'm at.
What about you?
Shout out to Brittany Griner and her family and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope, you know what I'm saying? She's
able
to
through
get
9
back
years
out here. That's just, I say that to say, like, all y'all got to be careful.
Because she's a political tool at this point. It's
everybody got to be careful.
She's black is because of the political climate as well.
Russia's system is the worst there is, but anybody out there right now doing what you do, you get caught up in the system, you never know what can happen. So let's stay smart, people.
Yeah. So like I said, I want to thank everyone out there who support us. I know we left y'all a long time without any episodes, so the few loyal people, once they see the new episode is up, they're going to listen to it and they're going to support. So I appreciate that. I also want to take a time out to show support and say thank you to all the organ donors out there. You never know how big that gift is till it hits close to home. And you have to also realize, like, yo, people always think, oh, I don't know if I want to be an organ donor. Like, yo, it helps people's lives tremendously. It changes people's lives tremendously. And let's keep it a buck. I'm not trying to be funny. I guess some people have some religious reasons why they do it. But you're not using the organ once you're gone. Yeah. What is the problem?
My uncle's in the same situation that you.
Allow it to bless somebody else.
Let me tell you something. Not only to bless somebody else, what you call it, you giving a second chance at life to somebody. I didn't know how important it was until I got sick. You know, like. But I push forward. I'm not the average person.
I've been an organ donor since I was 18 because to me it was just like it's a no-brainer.
And listen, sometimes when
take mines and cremate me, I'm good.
Sometimes when you're younger, you just some of the stuff you don't care about, whatever. But it's very important to just to help somebody else. Like I get to meet the family eventually. Not and after a year, I can write the family and we can communicate. After after a year, it got to be a year because they gotta make sure everything's legit. But I'm thankful, man. Trust me. Even when I was going through the storm, I could push forward, man, because I had a good support system and I didn't let it stop me. You know what I mean? So God is good.
Continue to support Views from the Friend Zone, and we're gonna be back better than ever.
Yes,
love you guys. Peace.
Peace.
Views
from the friend zone. It's your time. We giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping them jewels so that all our people can shine. Views from the friend zone. It's your time. We giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping them jewels so that all our people can